Malaysia has been approved to get
Hey.
the Hornets. So
I saw
U.S.
the
clears
United-
Malaysia's grab
Yes.
of 33 Kuwaiti FA-18 Hornets.
Grab.
Confirmed by General Tan Sri Asghar Khan.
Dato.
Oh, God, there's more name.
Just
Goraman Khan, chief of the Malaysian Air Force. There's I guess he's doing a cable cert there.
The trap, yeah.
So I guess they had to wait for the U.S. Arms Export Control Act to give them permission. They are the mix of single and two-seat FA-18D with APG-73. So they're upgraded from what they have now, right, Gonky?
Yes.
So good radar, and they'll get 30 of them. They can do track multiple targets simultaneously. But they're 404 engines with 17,700 pounds of thrust.
Wow.
For a total of just over 35,000 pounds. And they are, Kuwaiti Air Force just got the Block 3 Super Hornets, as we may know.
Yeah, they did.
You might know. Gonky, what do you think about this, man? I mean, this is interesting.
Hurts.
What's that?
Hurts. You said Block 3 Super Hornet. It hurt me a little bit.
I'm sorry for your loss. What do you think about this?
I think it's, dude, what I really think is about 10, 15 years ago, they should have ordered Super Hornet. But since they didn't, I think this is actually a good way for them to strengthen and augment the airplanes they already have, because they only have, geez, I'm getting old, 8 of them. Yeah. So you got 30, right? So you could have a lot of parts birds, plus you could stand up really another squadron. I think I read it somewhere where they got only 18 of the Su-30s basically flying. So I think it would be pretty easy for them. The radars, the engines, right? They have, so the Kuwaitis are the ones that actually paid for and got the EP engine in the Hornet, because it's right in the desert, hot, very hot climate. So the the Malaysians also have the big motors. They also have the same radars. Malaysians have 2 seats, so getting the single seat would be a little bit different for them. I know the RMAF has their reasons for 2-seat airplanes, which I actually kind of agree. I kind of agree now that having flown with them. But my question is, and this is the big thing, at what cost, right? So it depends. Whether it's a good deal or not depends on how much it's going to cost Malaysia, because at some point, if you're looking at future capabilities, it may still be the right move to try to buy a newer airplane like a Block 3 Super Hornet, because then you get the latest by today's standard Gen 4.5. Because by them buying the Kuwaiti Hornets, yes, it'll strengthen what they have, maybe stand up another squadron, and it will increase their capability, but that's more of a for today right now fix in my mind, just kind of knowing how they operate. The Kuwaiti jets were maintained by contractors, so they're very well maintained airplanes. They're relatively low hours, no carrier use, so they're some of the better airframes when we're talking Hornets in the world. Aside from even the Malaysian ones. The Malaysian ones are pretty low time as well. So they have the infrastructure, not to necessarily handle 30 more airplanes, but they have infrastructure there to handle the legacy Hornet, which would be good. But really, it's going to be the price, man. If they get a really sweet deal, I'd say it's probably worth it. But at some point, there's a price point there where when you're looking at future capability cost, it still might be a better bet to go out and buy the most modern version of something Gen 4.
Wow.
How many squadrons does that make? 30 jets. How many squadrons in Malaysia does that give you?
Well, they base it off of what 18 squadron had. I mean, divided by 8, so you get 4 more
by
squadrons.
8?
But we only had 8 airplanes, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, only 8 airplanes. So, I mean, you figure, 8 to make 6 normally, because they kind of use one as a parts bird. One was, one was down. They would use it as a parts bird while they were waiting for parts if they needed it.
Right.
And you bring up a good point, Mover. there's a lot of benefit in just having numbers, you know, because you could absorb, you know, let's say you only stood up like one more squadron, right? I mean, you would definitely have some parts that would ensure, because flight time there, kind of like in the States, man, those guys really struggled with just getting flight time. Right?
Really?
Yeah. They had a sim, but it's, you know, it was older and it was okay for just teaching, you know, how to operate the airplane, but any kind of tactics, and they preferred to be in the airplane as well.
Yeah.
As they should.
Which I could appreciate, as they should. Yeah, exactly. So it was always a fight to get guys in the airplanes. And man, we went through some time periods where we didn't have any up jets. You know, we're all sitting around twiddling our thumb. And like literally it's like 10:30. It's like, you know, hey, 02's up. And we're like, oh crap, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, the scheduler's like, okay, we knocked this flight out. And then by the end of the day, it's broke again. It's like you just flew it into the dirt, you know, but it's because, you know, they were trying to get training done just like anywhere else. And, you know, I think that just having more airplanes, get more flight time for them would be an improvement. But like I said, it's going to be in my mind, it's a cost thing. Because at some point, especially if you're doing long-term planning for your Air Force, at some point, it doesn't make sense.
What about the cost of just getting them there, right? I don't know if they fly them because of, you know, like, for example, when our contractors in the U.S. imported jets, and I'm sure when VFA 204 got the Swiss F5s, it wasn't a, hey, we're going to fly them across. It was a, we're going to ship them, we're going to take them apart, put them in crates, fly the crates over, get them there. Maintenance has to then go through the jets, put it back together, and then do inspections after that. That adds cost.
That's a good point. If you know, if I'm Kuwait, I'm probably going to fly kind of like Australia did. Hey, let's fly these things, like fly them until the engines need replaced, you know, like let's get our money's worth out of them.
Yeah.
And then sell them.
Center barrel.
Might be, center barrel is not going to be an issue for Kuwait. I mean, from what I can remember, they're pretty low time airplanes. But as far as, you know, the engines go, I could see them run, you know, needing replaced. But again, that could all be in the negotiation. That could all be in part of the price point, really, because I mean that's expensive.
Skid, what do you think, man?
Who is the threat from Malaya? I mean,
well, China. You know, because they have there's East Malaysia. They got a lot of oil. So you know, I did a basically a deployment with them. We flew out there and made a presence to defend oil. And they like to, you know, they're like with Singapore, they're like stepbrothers. You know, they get along, but you know, they will you know, kind of fly against one another at times. I saw that, but they are definitely defensive mindset, Skid. You know.
Yeah, good. No, I mean, the country's proud, I'm sure, and they want to, you know, maintain a, you know, China. Oh my gosh, I hope we can fight them off. So